First of all, I just want to officially welcome you to our webinar. And, most importantly, I wanted to make sure that we have still maintained some connection with you to let you know that we miss you and we appreciate all that you're doing to adjust to these unprecedented times. And we're going through adjustments as well, although we've been doing webinars all along. But we also want to be on camera like this, again, to have that connection with you, to maintain that relationship. Real estate is all about relationships. And it's important to us that we stay connected with you. And we also care. We care a lot about you. We miss you. And we hope that all of you are healthy and well, and your families are as well. And we're going to get through this together, because that's what RE/MAX is. The power of the RE/MAX network is amazing. And we're lucky to be part of it. And we're also lucky to be here for you today. So I know that we were planning to be out in the field and do live training. So we are going to do our very best today to bring you the best possible experience and give you all the content that you were hoping for had you been out in the field. So what we're going to do today is we're going to cover in the next 2 hours, we're going to go over all the features of the CRM. So we're going to use some slides here at the beginning, then we're going to go live. And then we're also going to focus on our websites. We've got some pretty exciting things coming up with our websites and our CRM. So next week's going to be a really big week for us on March 31st when we go live. So I do want to officially introduce myself. My name is Michelle Hoyt, and I am a region trainer here for RE/MAX INTEGRA in the Midwest. I also have 2 very esteemed colleagues of mine on the webinar that will be answering questions and helping out as panelists. So I'd like to start with Maureen, if you could introduce yourself.
Sure. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the booj webinar, first one this week. Again, as Michelle said, I'm the regional trainer for the New England region. We basically do the same job in different parts of the country. We both enjoy seeing you very much. We love being in the classroom, and we really appreciate you being fluid, because we too wish we could be there in person. But I'm certainly happy and confident to back Michelle up on this particular webinar and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you so much. And then we also have, a lot of you know her by name because you may have done help tickets with her or emails or calls, but we have our Director of Support for Brokers and Agents for all of North America, Erica Kappa.
Good morning, everyone. Michelle, you make me feel so important. Thank you for that. As Michelle said, my name is Erica Kappa. I'm the Director of Support for RE/MAX INTEGRA North America. So I lead the team that provides support on all the RE/MAX tools to all of our brokers and agents in the Ontario Atlantic region, as well as North Central, Indiana, and New England.
Great.
Just as a quick heads up, as we go through this webinar with Michelle, if you experience any tech challenges, so tech meaning the website isn't loading or functionality that you see is different than what Michelle is showing, please know that we're not going to be able to fix that on the webinar. So I would ask that you just go ahead and reach out directly to my team. The easiest way to do that is through www.maxhelpsyou.com. We have an instant chat feature on there. Our average response time is about 15 seconds on that. So it's very, very quick, very, very efficient. And then if you have any questions as far as where Michelle is at on the screen or how to do X, Y, and Z, please enter that into the Q&A box that you see on the screen right now so that we can answer those questions. When Michelle sends out the link to this recorded webinar, because I know that's going to be a question that we get, you will also get a link for the questions and answers that you have asked on here as well. So we actually download those, we write out the questions, I write out the answers so that you guys are able to refer back to those in the future as well. So thank you again so much for joining us today. And Michelle, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you. And you are important, by the way, you and Maureen. We're quite the little trio during this booj rollout. So no, it's been great. So thanks for, I'm really happy to have them on. Like Erica said, please take note, hover your mouse down to the bottom of the screen. You'll see a Q&A folder. That's going to be the best place to ask questions because, like she said, they'll be recorded. So we're going to get moving through. So speaking of webinars, I'm excited to announce that next week we're going to have a whole round of new ones, and they're not officially on the blog yet, but they will be. So here's what's going to be happening next week. So as we know, we've been really gearing up since February 17th for the March 31st go live date. That's when our leads will come through from remax.com into booj. That's when you can publish your websites with custom domains officially. So there's a lot happening. So we want you to know what to expect. So we're going to have a webinar for 1 hour on Monday, and we're going to focus on that and give you some ideas on what those leads might look like when they start coming through. And then we're going to have on Tuesday, March 31st, the big date, we're going to have one agent-focused webinar. Again, these will all be recorded. You'll notice we are publishing those public on our YouTube channel for RE/MAX INTEGRA, and we will be uploading what we consider the best of them to RE/MAX University in the near future. So the broker owner managers, there's a lot of things we need to talk about from your end, and we're going to be having a broker owner manager webinar next Tuesday. Again, it will be recorded. That'll be at 12 Central and 1 o'clock Eastern. Wednesday, April 1st, we're going to do a repeat of the Tuesday agent session. So Wednesday, so same exact time, 2 days in a row, same session. Obviously, there'll be different questions, and I'm sure we'll run into some things that we didn't expect, or surprises, or just in general, because we've got a lot that's going to happen on March 31st. So feel free to attend both of those when we open registration, which will happen sometime today. And then finally, by popular demand, we're going to have a session just for team leaders and teams so that you can make the most of booj and utilize it the best way possible as a team, okay? So again, registration will be open soon. We will email all of you. Please pay attention to your emails for those invites and the registration link, and then it will all be posted on soulsignblog.com/calendar. All right, so Erica and Maureen and I will be hosting those again. We're excited. So let's talk about booj. So as you all know, one of the most exciting things about having booj is it's our own technology. So in 2018, RE/MAX acquired this company that specializes in real estate websites, particularly search engine optimization and such. So for the first time ever in RE/MAX's history, not only is remax.com, but all of our websites, agent, teams, office, and multi-office site, everything is all on one platform. So it all syncs together, it's seamless, and everyone's talking to each other in that ecosystem. So we're super excited. And by the way, booj stands for Be Original or Jealous, and that name will stay. So we're not changing it to Lead Street or anything like that. It's gonna remain as booj. So the system involves a CRM, which we'll cover in this first part of this session. Remax.com, as we, after several years on homes.com, switched over to booj on the weekend of January 31st, and that's where it's going to stay now. And then there is a CRM mobile app. So if you're looking for a booj app on your App Store or Google Play Store, the one you're looking for is the booj CRM app. So please download that, and you'll be able to utilize all the features with your contacts on your phone that you would also utilize on the desktop. And then there is not a separate app for the website editor. That's going to be and live inside of the booj desktop platform. So just to let you know. So as Erica mentioned, we cannot do this alone, and we're all in this together. So we're here to support you. So the best place to go to get help is maxhelpsyou.com. And this is a portal that's existed for quite some time now. Erica and her team have done an amazing job filling it up with all kinds of valuable content, frequently asked questions on all kinds of RE/MAX tech, not just booj, but it's Design Center, it's PhotoFi, it's all the tools that we have in the RE/MAX system and the toolbox that you can utilize. So please go to maxhelpsyou.com. You can get to it outside of our system. And then there's, like I said, frequently asked questions. You can even schedule a time to have a one-on-one call with our support specialist, 30, 45 minutes, or 60 minutes. And you know, the thing is, Maureen and I are all over the place, and we're servicing literally thousands of you. So unfortunately, we don't have the bandwidth to do one-on-one, but we'd love to, but the support team is there to help. And that's what they have to provide you with. Also, you can text, as you can see, these different phone numbers. And then during certain hours, you'll be able to instant chat with our team. And then you can, if you need to, if you can't get into the system at all, or you're having other kinds of issues, you can always email support@remaxintegra.com. But it is the best practice to go to Max Helps You. In this top corner up here, it says submit a request, and then we can track and do all of that. So please don't email me or Maureen directly for help or questions. Go directly to support. It's not that we don't want to hear from you, but we're both, our inboxes are quite full right now, and nothing personal, but we can't get to it all. So the support team is there to help, okay? All right, so speaking of support, after this go live date, so sometime in April, you are all going to start receiving every Tuesday the weekly recharge email from RE/MAX LLC. And what this is the tech updates that are going to be provided to you in the RE/MAX system. So again, this could be Design Center. It's going to be all the booj releases and fixes and they'll identify known issues and some of the bigger things just to keep you informed. And so pay attention to those. It's called Recharge. It'll start happening on Tuesdays here in the near future. There's also going to be lots of content on a regular basis being uploaded to RE/MAX University. We work really closely with the RE/MAX LLC team to get that content in there and make sure it's updated and it's working for you. In the booj system, if you haven't noticed already, in the bottom right corner, there is a blue question mark. And you're going to love this blue question mark. When we get in live in the program, we'll look at this. But what this is going to do is this is going to provide you with a lot of information. Number one, you can go in there and you can actually submit product feedback. And that's what's really awesome about having our own technology, is that we have a direct line and we have a voice to provide feedback to what the product needs, what it needs to do, how it can work better for you. And you can submit product feedback there. You can also use the electronic walkthrough tutorial. And what that is if you click on, you want to know how to import a contact, little windows will pop up, and I'll show you when we get in there, that will show you where to click and how to click and where to go next. So it's called Pendo. It's a really awesome tool that we have. There's a Facebook group that is not run by or sanctioned by RE/MAX INTEGRA or RE/MAX LLC, but it's called RE/MAX Tech and Tools. You can interact and collaborate with your peers on how they're using booj, because these are the core regions that have had it since the fall, actually. And they've also paved the way for us, and I think it'd be good for you to interact with them. On RE/MAX University, speaking of help, there's a ton of videos available in the booj, for booj specifically. On the left-hand side, as you can see, is where it's located, and then you've got all these different buckets that you can open up, and you can see all the different components. Each video is probably averaging about 5-6 minutes. There's some that are 7 or 8, but you can really take your time and watch these videos and kind of take them in small bites, because there's a lot here. And we have time, so no rush. You know, we're going to show you the most important features today and how to get started, but there's so much more to come. So again, new videos are being uploaded regularly from the RE/MAX LLC training team. So here's some quick important points to know. If you're not doing this already, you do need to use Chrome as the best browser, because booj is optimized for that, and that's on your desktop. Now, I will tell you though, you can use it on Firefox and Safari. So we've had some pushback from some of you diehard Mac users, which I'm one of them too, but I do use Chrome, and you can use it. So it is best for Chrome, but you can use it on those two browsers. One thing that we've noticed in training though, as far as getting to the back end of your website, or even some of the features on the back end of your CRM and your settings, you may not be able to access or see all of those items if you're using a tablet, such as a Surface or an iPad. So you will have some limitations. So it is best to do all of your editing on a desktop, a laptop of some sort. So Mac Center profiles, in the past, I know we get a lot of questions about this. Do I go to Launchpad? Do I go to Mac Center? Well, booj doesn't exist in Launchpad. So everything is moving over and is going to exist in the Mac Center area. So that includes your profile. Updating your profile in Mac Center will feed over to the websites. It'll feed over to your bio page on remax.com and all of those features. So the lead street migration, we're kind of going back and forth with this, everyone. So the feature is there for you to click a button that says yes to migrate your contacts over. Unfortunately, there's some known issues and glitches with that. So we're really working hard to get those resolved before the March 31st go live date. Now, just so you know, as you can see, I have a note here that lead street access, technically it's going to end at the end of April. So you will have access to your contacts and anything you've done inside of there. Now, with respect to Lead Street, the newsletters have stopped. Those went out beginning of March, which was just a couple weeks ago, and they will not continue from here on out. So if you want to make alternative marketing plans or see what's happening with the campaigns in booj, then that might be the way to go. So the text feature. So when you download the CRM mobile app, you cannot use the texting feature at this time. So that will be enabled on March 31st, and that's going to be exciting. So we'll talk about that on the webinars next week. So one important note here for broker owners, for websites, if you've not been contacted or heard from the company called 73, which is the data warehouse for RE/MAX LLC, about your IDX agreement for your office, you need to reach out to our support team. And that's important because you need to have the IDX agreement approved and in place before your agents can publish their own websites. And please reach out to our team if you haven't heard from them. It's called 73. So hopefully you're not ignoring those or thinking it's spam. That's company is affiliated with RE/MAX.
Michelle, can I pipe in real quick on that?
Sure, thanks.
It's just so that we are very clear, only the broker has to complete the IDX agreement. Agents do not need to reach out to the board. Agents do not have to fill out any paperwork. Only the broker needs to fill out that paperwork. Once that is done, that will give agents IDX access as well.
Excellent point. Yes. So again, check with your broker owner manager to see that they've got that in place. All right, so in case you didn't know, since 2006, it's been recorded that there's been 22 million leads that have come through RE/MAX.com in the US. It's pretty amazing. And all the channels that those leads can come from are listed at the top here. So obviously RE/MAX.com, you've got the RE/MAX mobile app. Leads are coming from global.remax.com, which everyone, by the way, is translated in over 40 different languages. It's the world search portal for RE/MAX. And then RE/MAX Collection is going through sort of a rebranding, the RE/MAX Collection being the luxury side of our business. And it is now referred to as remax.com/luxury. RE/MAXcommercial.com, for those of you that do commercial business, at this time, it is not on the booj platform. We don't have a tentative date for that, or if that may happen anytime soon, but it still remains on the Reliance platform for the commercial business and leads. So let's talk about RE/MAX.com lead routing. This is really important, but here's what's exciting. So before booj even rolled out, we purchased the company during the months where they were planning and getting ready for this to go live. RE/MAX LLC met with brokers and agents and even consumers, just to figure out what the real need was and how could we reach consumers better. And what it really comes down to is consumers must be acknowledged, and they also need to have a choice on who they work with. So there's a new feature that's been installed onto the RE/MAX.com registration process, and it is called a preferred buyer's agent. That means a consumer can actually make a choice by typing in an agent's name of who it is they want to work with. That agent gets notified, and then you basically have the highest of hierarchy when it comes to viewing their activity in the booj CRM. So that's called a preferred buyer's agent. We've got a screenshot here in just a moment where you'll see how that actually works. So the preferred buyer's agent is the very top. Preferred buyer's agent means if no matter what listing they ask about, whatever question they ask about, it's going to come to you as the preferred buyer's agent. In fact, you're even notified about that. So as an assigned agent, this is where if you get a lead on your own website, your own booj website, the office might assign you a lead, or you just get a lead sent to you via text message and you accept it. That is an assigned agent. If the consumer did not choose a PBA and they submitted a lead form some other way, then you become the assigned agent. You have almost unlimited activity to see what they're doing, not as high level as preferred buyer's agent, but you have the ability to see what it is they're looking at, searching, and all of that. So also on your listings, if a consumer is not associated with another agent through those means we just talked about, it's their first time ever to RE/MAX.com, you will get that listing lead directly to you. And you'll have an hour to accept just like before, but we'll talk about that on the next slide. And then finally, of course, there's zip codes. You'll have the ability to sign up for 10 zip codes as before. However, the biggest difference is you won't be repeating zip codes because it does not make a difference or have any effect at this time. So that's new as well. So again, when it comes to empowering the consumer, that's our number one focus. And they must be acknowledged. They must also have a choice. And that's what our consumers want. So how this works is, in going through the registration process, as you can see in the screenshot, there's a box that the consumer checks that says, I'm working with a RE/MAX agent. Then they can actually type in first or last name of you, and you'll see the list pops up, and all they have to do is click on your name, and they will choose you as their preferred buyer's agent when they register. So it's really awesome, and then you get all of their activity and all of their information. They get to choose you. Now, this is a behavioral change for all of us. So what we're going to talk about, we'll talk about a little bit more next week, but I can already picture a flyer or some type of a promotional email in my head where you can send something out. This is an opportunity to reach out to your database. Hey, everyone likes new. They like new, shiny things. RE/MAX.com is brand new. It's got a whole new look and a whole new design and feel. And here's one of the ways we can stay connected. Give them instructions of please register on the site, or show them how to choose you as a PBA, which they can do if they're already registered. So we'll make sure you get some resources and support on that. But I want you to start thinking about how you can take this new feature and turn it into an opportunity to reach out to your database, okay? All right, so again, lead routing goals is again to support the existing relationship when you become that assigned agent. When you are the listing agent and it's someone brand new to remax.com, that lead goes to you. And then of course the zip code setup, which you will be part of. So this would be non-Remax listing leads. This would be re-offers and that along those lines. So the new hours for acceptance is 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. in your local time zone. So Central time zone, for those of you that are in Central, and Eastern, of course, the same thing. But so the hours are 8 to 10. You have 1 hour to accept that initial lead offering. Once that's over, if you miss it, then you are taken out of the lead pool. So that is different than Lead Street. So you're taken out, you're no longer eligible, and then it gets reoffered every 15 minutes to a local agent until it is accepted. So just want to make sure that's clear. And again, that's during those times of 8 to 10. Now, if the lead comes in outside of those hours, then you have until 8 a.m. the next morning to accept it. So we extended the hours. If you recall, it used to be 9 to 5, which we're not a 9 to 5 business. So this is now set up for the consumer's benefit to get acknowledged in a longer period of time. Okay. All right. Round robin process. A true round robin means that once you get a lead, then you have to go to essentially the back of the line until it's your turn to get a lead again, until everyone gets a lead. So Remax.com has instituted a round robin lead process. So in the reoffer process, let's say that you missed the lead. Then what's going to happen next is it will offer the lead every 15 minutes to, first of all, to the agent that's gone the longest without a lead, then second longest and third longest. And you can see how that works. So offices, you'll have the ability on the office website to choose if you want to do round robin or some other method. But this is what's happening on Remax.com. None of us can change this. This is at the highest level, and this is how this will work. Are there any questions, Erica or Maureen, on what we've covered so far?
No, nothing yet.
Okay, thanks. All right, so lead eligibility. You must have at least 1 zip code filled in. And you can choose up to 10, but you need to have at least 1 in order to be eligible for leads. So secondly, you also cannot miss 3 leads in a row. Now, unlike Lead Street, when you declined a lead, it counted as activity. Here it counts against you in the new booj remax.com. So make sure you're accepting those leads. We don't want anybody missing leads. Accept it if you're too busy. Refer it to someone in the office. Call your broker owner, but don't miss those leads. Keep those leads right there in-house. And again, if you miss those leads, your broker is going to be notified, and then they can re-enable you. But just, again, accept those leads and stay on top of those. So let's talk about lead routing with respect to your agent website. And we'll get into the websites here in just a moment. So the agent websites, which are standalone and outside of Remax.com, you have your own brand new website. So when a lead is generated to your website, the lead will get assigned to you. You don't automatically become the preferred buyer's agent in the entire Remax system. However, you are become the assigned agent. This is your website, and no matter what, no matter whose listing it is or anything, it's your lead, you generated, it's your website. So it's going to come directly to you. So you get to work that lead, and you get that. So what happens is, you're going to have, and like I said, and this is regardless if they have a PBA or not, they can still go to your website and submit a lead inquiry. The lead comes into your booj CRM. Now, if they do have a preferred buyer's agent, then that preferred buyer's agent is notified that their client was searching and doing lead activity on another agent's website. Now, it does not say who the agent is, but they do get that notification. So if you are a PBA and you get a notification like that, then it might be an opportunity to pick up the phone or text them and say, hey, just checking in, want to see how things are going. Be careful with this information. You don't want to call attention to this, but it's really good information for you to have. It's kind of like the system's holding you accountable. I mean, let's face it, consumers can go a million places to search, but at least within the Remax system, you can see what's going on. So take that opportunity to just kind of stay in touch and see what's going on. All right, so what leads or how do leads get into booj? Well, as we talked about from all the different websites, agent office, team, also from remax.com and the mobile app, you have your own branded mobile app, which we'll talk about in the website session. And then, of course, third-party sources. This is where you can bring in what are called lead parsers from other places. And then, and we'll look on this next screen. lead parsing. So this is Realtor.com, Zillow, and HomeSpotter. So these are the 3 lead generation platforms in real estate that you can connect to your booj account, where you can actually have the leads come into your account, just like we did with Lead Street, just like we did with 5 Street before. So you'll have that ability to do that with these three systems. Where, as far as bringing leads from other places, just so you know, there is talk down the road of Facebook ads being added, but there's no tentative date on that right now, but these are the most popular, and we'll show you how to get to those. So under lead acceptance, so there is how you're going to be notified of leads. We're going to show you how to set up those notification settings, but you're also going to have the ability inside of the mobile app. You'll see that push notifications will begin starting next week. And then under the email section, you'll get email leads, you'll get desktop notifications, and of course, you'll have text messages sent to you. So texting will begin as of next week. All right, so we're going to go into the system itself, and we're going to take a look at what's going on. So let me go to, let's see. I think I accidentally closed a window. Here we go. All right. Erica and Maureen, can you see that okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, everyone. So I am in Max Center. Now, you cannot get into booj from Launchpad. If you've been looking and wondering where it is, it's not there, and it will not exist there. Where you get to booj is inside of Max Center. So in Max Center, which is remax.net, this is where you're going to end up on your home page. Now, if you haven't done so already, you might want to favorite the booj application. So the way to do that is to go into the App Store, and right here, see how I've colored in the little flag? That means I favorited this platform. So then you want to click and go into here. Getting into the booj platform, there's no extra place to get into the website. Everything is accessed through here. Now, for those of you, if there, by some chance, we know a lot of you have already gone through the setup wizard. If some of you are seeing for the first time some terms of service that you need to accept, there's going to be a series of about 5 to 6 screens. What I'd like you to do is just go ahead and power through and keep hitting the next button, accept the terms, hit the next button in the bottom right so you can catch up with us. And I'm going to show you how to get to all those settings that you just went through really fast. So, and this will be important for everyone to kind of know where the settings are anyway. But we want to start inside of the program. Now, for some of you, you might get into the program and you'll have a blank dashboard. So there is nothing wrong. That's okay. That's pretty normal. But what it is that you need to set up your widgets. Your widgets are going to be an opportunity to, it's a snapshot of what's going on inside of your account for that day, for that week, and you can customize it the way you need to. Now, this example, I've got my calendar showing here. I've got, this will show your recent contacts and leads interactions. That's why using the CRM mobile app and the system to interact with your clients is never more important than now. So you can have those activities recorded. Deals, so we're going to talk about deals. This is brand new for all of us. You're actually going to be able to manage your deals inside of the booj platform, which is awesome. So, and you can actually integrate DocuSign.loop and ZipLogic. So there's a lot to come. So this, never before have we had this in the Remax system. Some of you have had this in external ones. So, so what we've got going on here is I've set this up. Now, if you don't have any widgets showing, go up here to the top left corner where it says Edit Widgets. Now, I've already set this up, but it'll give you a box that says Add with a plus, and you can start adding and customizing what view you want to have on your own dashboard. You can move these around if you want, if you prefer to have one of these, you know, the deals being over here versus calendar, that's up to you. But I've already done this, so I'm not able to add new ones. It's already set up for me. So that's called the dashboard setup. Now, let's get into the settings, because I promised those of you that just powered through the setup wizard that we'll get to those. So over in the far right corner, there, it should show a picture of you or a silhouette. And then in my case, I'm using a demo account. So if you hit settings right here, it's going to take you to this section. Now the calendar, I just want to explain really quick. We won't spend a lot of time on the calendar right now, but right now there's a calendar that exists inside of the booj platform. And we'll talk in just a moment about how to set up an appointment or event. And you can use it just like any other calendar, but it does live inside of the booj platform at this time, but it will be happening in the future. We're looking at Q2. So in the next few months, there'll be calendar integration with Google, with Outlook, and with iCal. That's also going to be the same for the contacts, but just wanted to let you know it's going to be exciting because I know a lot of you are needing that and asking for that. So you'll be able to set up you can set up your calendar settings if you want. However, at this time, that's not as important as some of the other settings. So we're going to click up here where it says, so again, I'm in settings up here, settings. Then I'm going to click on settings right here, settings pages. And let's go ahead and click on contacts and leads. And we're going to kind of work our way through. Now, notice this has its own menu of settings that you've got to go through. So what do you want to see when you first start up your contacts and leads dashboard? You just want to see the dashboard. Is it important that you see phone numbers and addresses? That would fall under details. Do you want to see what they're up to and their user activity? Entirely up to you. So if I change this, I want to see user activity. But and at this time, you can only choose one because that's going to be your default view. If you scroll down here, this is where the Lead Street Reliance migration feature is available. So for those of you that didn't do it in the initial setup, this is where you find it. As I said before, we've been experiencing some issues and we're hoping, we're working really hard to get those resolved. Again, you'll have a grace period of access to your Lead Street contacts through April. Anything new on that, Erica?
No, we don't have anything new on that yet.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, so please, thanks for your patience, bear with us, and we'll keep working through that. We're working really hard with homes.com to make sure that that happens. So these are some of the settings under general. Let's go to notifications. This is really important. So what this is how are you going to be notified of lead activity? So pretty much what I would recommend is just having everything checked off because you can never be notified too often or too frequently for leads. So in the app, which again, you won't have this feature happening till next week, but go ahead and check it off. So you are choosing notifications that you actually got a lead either transferred to you, which can happen. We'll look at that in the program too, from anywhere, any RE/MAX agent, referred or transferred to you. And this could come from your team. It could come from your broker in the future. So a contact or lead was shared or unshared with me. So there's a sharing process involved. And again, what's really great now, so before, some of you might remember Lead Street from way back when, you were able to transfer a contact within your region though, it wasn't nationwide. You were able to transfer a contact to another RE/MAX agent, maybe another part of your state if you referred them this client, if they were relocating. You'll have the ability to do that with any RE/MAX agent now in the entire RE/MAX network. That's pretty cool. You'll be able to share. If you share that, and I'll show you where to do it. If you share, that means you still have it and they have it. And obviously you can revoke that at any time. You can also, if you send it to them, then that means you don't have it in your database anymore and they have it. So I would say more often than not, you're going to share because you never know. Someone can come back and it's always good to stay in touch. A contact or lead updated their PBA. This is where it gets really interesting. As I mentioned before, so if you are the preferred buyer's agent, the client or the consumer can actually remove you as the preferred buyer's agent and choose someone else at any time when they're logged into their RE/MAX account. So you will be notified. Again, now they're not going to be removed from your database, but this is another opportunity to, again, maybe not react right away, but give it a moment and then reach out to them at some point very soon after that and just say, hey, I'm just checking in to see how things are going. So this is the system's intuitive. And again, it's kind of like holding you accountable where it's saying, hey, something's going on. You're not showing these people the love. So they went with somebody else. So, I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen to you, but sometimes those things do occur. So, all right, lead assigned to me. So again, this is if the office assigns you a lead. If you get a lead assigned to you on your booj agent website, that's the official definition of assigning a lead. A lead offered to you. So this is the initial lead offering. So it'll say lead offering. You have to accept that within that 1 hour. Remember how that works. So under the import completed. So when you do an import, and we're going to look at that, when you do a manual import of contacts, then what's going to happen is you'll be notified that it actually is complete. And it's always good to know that. And then same thing with export. Notice over to the far right, you've got text messages. You should definitely have those checked off. Those will start happening next week on the 31st. So let's look at tags. So tags, what this is, these are categories. So a lot of you have done this already in past client relationship management systems. You've done this, you have this currently set up, and it works out really good because what you can do is you can set up labels or tags, tags or categories, I should say, just a new term we have to get used to, on who this client is to you. Maybe how you met them, maybe the lead source. I mean, there's different ways to go about that. You could even just put the source where you imported them from. This could be a networking group. This could be, one of the things you'll want to do is make sure you have open houses, which I believe is already in here as a default, but you're going to get walk-ins, you're going to get phone calls off of your signs, you're just going to meet people in general. So there's going to be times when you just want a custom tag, and you can either add it here or you can add it on when you're actually adding the contact itself, which we'll do an exercise here in just a moment. So take note of these. So there are some that are in gray, and as you notice, it says they are system assigned. So that means they were already populated right here into your tags. So if you're wondering where they came from, that Remax put those in there for you. The ones that say user are the ones that you can create yourself. So as you can see, I've done that. I've got golf outing, charity event. I've got all these different examples here. And what we can do is, I'm going to show you how to add your own. Once you add it here, it will of course be available on any contacts you add. So I'm actually going to type in a name for a tag. Let's say that this is my, we'll just say this is my business networking group, or better yet, Chamber of Commerce. My Chamber of Commerce group that I meet with regularly. And I'm going to choose a color. Now there's only 7 or so colors here, but I'm just going to click Add Tag. So now this tag is available anytime I go to add one contact or import contacts. This tag is available, and I can assign that to several or one particular contact. So it's here and it's ready to go. Now notice, I know a lot of you ask all the time, can I change the colors of the ones that are system default? There's no way to do that at this time. There are a lot of requests for more colors, but right now we're just kind of working with a limited color palette. So again, you'll see that's how these are set up. So, and you'll see you can actually search by tags on your database. When we get into there, we'll show you how to set up those filters. So let's look at, I want to show you some examples of a custom field. So a custom field is, so a CRM is only as good as the information you put into it, right? So for a lot of you, you've done some work, especially if you've ever used a system really robust like Salesforce, where you're customizing and setting up your own fields. And also there's other CRMs, and Sitely is one of them, where you add your own fields. Like, what do you want to know about this client? Or what do you want to know about all of your clients? And it's different for each and every one of you. So, you know, one of the things that's not a standard field is kids' names. So as you can see, I added that here. And what you do is to add, so we can have up to 12, and add custom field here. So what would be an example of something that I may want to add? So you can actually do a couple of things. Text input means you just type in the name with a comma. So like in this case, I'll show you when we get into a contact record, I can actually type the kids' names in with a comma in between. If there's a number involved, you know, why would you may want to have a number? I'm not sure what that would be. Maybe you have some kind of a rating system. A date picker. Now, in the system, by default, a lot of times we think about home anniversary, birthdays, and maybe whatever the case is with that. But what about other important dates? Maybe it's the kids' birthdays, maybe it's wedding anniversaries, or things that are important for you to know about your client. And then drop down. So this one is my favorite to demonstrate, because this could be something like just their timing. When are they looking to actually make a move or make a decision? So if you do timing, I'm going to show you how this works. Now I'm going to enter a certain period of time. So we'll say the first choice is 0 to 30 days. Then we click to add the next option. Then it's going to be 30 to 60 days. Maybe yours is different. We'll add a couple more, so 60 to 90 days. And then this one could finally be 90 plus. Okay, so now that they're there, I'm good to go. I'm going to hit save. And now that's going to be available on every contact record that I have in my booj CRM. Okay, so those are fun. I mean, again, it's up to you. What do you want to know? It's different for each and every one of you about your clients. What type of information do you need to have about them? So it could be hobbies, it could be whatever, their golf handicap, I don't know. You can put whatever you want in there. Integrations, so in the future, as I mentioned, we will have integrations with Gmail, with Outlook, and with the the Apple contacts as well. Offered leads. This is where you fill in your zip codes. I know it'd be really simple if it just said zip codes. That would be nice, but it's offered leads. And this is where you're going to put in, you have to put in at least one zip code to get started. And some of you might need after this webinar to go look at a zip code map and figure out, you know, what it is that you're wanting to do. So entering a zip code, you want to enter, and by the way, here's the secret to it. So I'm just going to put in, you have to type in the zip code, hit enter, and then you have to type in the next one. So don't put commas in between. I've seen this happen in training. I've seen some of you type out 10 with commas and then it's not working, and that's why. So you have to do them separately. So I'm just entering some of mine here, and that's what you do. So you just keep entering them and you hit enter after each one, okay? All right, this next section here, I like to call this is a trick question to see if you're really paying attention. So if you have any boxes checked here, and you might have done this in the initial setup wizard, and now's the time to uncheck them, because this says check the boxes for leads you do not want to receive. So think about that. You don't want to receive these type of leads. So if you check a box here, then what's happening is you're telling the system, don't send me leads of this nature, of this category. So unless you're really, really opposed to any of these types of leads, which I couldn't imagine that you would, then leave them all blank, okay? So that's important that you know. And I'm not even sure what examples I could give where you don't want to get leads. I would never give that example, to be honest. All right, text message settings. So put your cell phone number in here. And then what you want to do is, and you can do it with or without dashes. It's putting in a parentheses for me, I just noticed. Okay, see, it's filling it all in for me. All right, so put in that number right there. And then notice you don't have to put in a wireless carrier. So now that's there, there's no save button, but once it's entered, it's there. Okay. All right, any questions, Erica or Maureen, on any of those settings for contacts and leads?
Nope, we're good on questions.
All right, thanks everyone, and feel free to keep typing in the Q&A box. All right, contacts and leads. Now let's go into our contacts and leads and kind of see what's going on here and what we can do and all of that. So one of the things that you'll have to get used to amongst the other new terminology that we have is right here over to the left side. Whenever a new lead comes in, and this will be from Remax.com, this will be from, you know, pretty much anything that comes in from Remax, it's always going to come in as a lead. And the way booj classifies a lead is, this is somebody brand new, you haven't quite started working with them, you haven't qualified them, and when you do, you can actually convert this person over to a contact. Now, when you do a manual import from Lead Street, or which you can do manually, if you do an import from anywhere else or manually enter leads, when you manually enter leads, you can actually choose if it's a lead or contact. But typically when you do an import, they all come in as contacts. You can go in and convert them all to leads if you want to, but this is going to be up to you how you want to use the booj CRM. I know we get a lot of questions about that. And again, lead means coming from Remax.com, it's brand new. You have to consider them an actual person that you're working with, and then you convert them to a contact. The system's not going to, the consumer won't know either way that they're flagged one way or the other, but just want to let you know that that's the definition of that in case you've been wondering. So one of the things that's great about this is that you can set up search filters. So let's say that, you remember those tags that we entered? I want to actually search by tags. So if I click right here where it says manage filters, what do I want to show up here at the top? I actually want to see tags. So now when I click this drop down, I can search by certain tags that I have. So who is a walk-in? And it will show me one person as a walk-in here. And obviously you'll have more, but you can choose actually more than one. So I've got a parents group, I've got walk-in, I've got, you know, are they a renter? So it'll just keep populating your results based on the tags that you're searching for, or you can type them in. So again, the system's really intuitive. It's a great way for you to search, and you can go back in and, like I said, choose any of these filters. Once you start using deals, you can set it up by, hey, I want to see the ones where I have the most GCI potential. That'll be great. You can go by lead status again. Hey, if let's say in this downtime right now, for which some of you have, I want to see who's having a birthday today. So when I click here, it'll show me whoever's having a birthday. So now that it's here, and then I can choose a date, just today's date or whatever. And then I can reach out on social media or via text or both, but at least there's all these different ways to go into your database and search, which works out really good. So really take the time to play around with that, and that's good too. There is a duplicate tool. So what may happen is some of you may have already imported your lead street contacts or tried to, and some of them came over and some didn't, and now you're doing a manual import. The system will accept duplicates. So unlike with Lead Street where it would not let you import them, it's really up to you to determine what you need and what you don't. So you can actually search by name, by email, address, and phone number. And I probably don't have any in here, so won't show the best example. So no, see, I don't. But you'll have that tool to help you kind of weed things out and kind of figure out what's going on and get more organized. Let's talk about adding a contact. So a couple different ways you can add it. So first of all, you can add an individual. And we're just going to quickly do one. So if you haven't done this already, enter yourself into your database. I'm just going to make something up here. I'm going to do Tom Hanks. And we're going to call this, so I'm already working with him, so it's a contact. So the system thinks, so you're entering this person, you must have talked to them, you met them, whatever, so it's a contact. Now, if I really want to make him a lead, I can, but I'm going to just make it a contact. Here's a tag. Remember those tags, like I said, you could either add a new tag in that overall tag section, or in this section, I can make one up that applies to this person. So, hey, we just met at Starbucks, or this was a, let's just say a home buyer seminar. This is where I met him. All right, and then you hit enter. So now home buyer seminar is going to be part of the entire tags system that you see out there. We'll put our phone number in. Make one up. And then right here where it says email address, I'll just make one up as well. Now the system does not scrub for information because you'll see I'm just making things up and it's accepting it. So you are still going to have that, and there's always going to be that whenever there's the ability to submit online leads, and you may not always have, actual legitimate information from a person. They may not be a legitimate person, so still have to work through that. So we entered our person. Now, whoever you entered, let's go ahead and click on their name here. And right here, we're opening up a contact record. So it's really important that you know what's available inside of a contact record, as you can see here. So what we've got is one of the things that you can do now that's really exciting is you can actually have a lead score. The system will assign a lead score based upon the activity and interactions that you're having with a client. So what's great is then what you're going to be able to do is use the CRM mobile app. So this is where another behavioral change for you. When you call a client, when you text a client, when you email a client, you have to, if you really want to do lead score and really use this system and to the fullest, use the CRM mobile app to have those interactions. I know it's going to take some changes and some time, but a lot of you will just still, if you pick up the phone, you're going to still call people straight from your phone icon. You'll forget about the app. So it's going to take some time if you really want to use it to its fullest. If you do that, and what'll happen is you can go back here into the system and you can log that activity. So right here where it says log, I can log a call, a meeting, or a note. So as you can see right here, these are different things. So I just talked to someone, I had to leave and go somewhere, I forgot to enter the note, I can do that. Or I forgot to even log the call. I forgot to use the booj mobile app to call this person. So you can go ahead and log it here after the fact, which is great. The other thing you can do is, I mentioned about sending or sharing your contact, and this is under actions. So let's say that you go on Mac Center, you find an agent, or you go on that very popular Facebook group that's out there, and you get a referral for someone in South Carolina. So you can actually go into the system, and if I hit share, it's not enabled right now, but I have a demo account. But when you hit share, you'll have the ability to share that contact with another RE/MAX agent in the network. And when that happens, as though you still keep it in your database, they have it in theirs. And then as I mentioned earlier, if you send it, it's going to send it completely out of your database. So just want to make mention of that. I don't know that you'd ever want to delete it, but unless it's, as we said, like a bogus lead or something, you may want to delete it then. The texting feature is not enabled at this time. and you'll be able to email them directly from this button as well. So let's kind of move our way down the client record, and we'll kind of get through this. We'll show you a couple more things inside of here, and then we'll get into websites. So one of the things that's important is what's happening with this client, what activities are coming up. So you'll have the ability to set up appointments by using the booj calendar. So if I click add event, it's going to take me into a place where I can set up an appointment. Let's say we just talked, and this is going to be, we're going to have an appointment to, or maybe this is the initial listing appointment. Now, again, this is not synced with your Google Calendar or any other calendar at this time, but we can do that. Here's my listing appointment. Just like any other calendar though, there's going to be notifications, and you can set it up. So we'll say this is going to be for tomorrow at 11, and it's not repeating, and it's not an all-day event, but we're going to put the location in, and then notice the client's name is already filled in here. What's really great about this, just like any other calendar invitation, which I always encourage you to do, is you click this button here where it says send invite upon save. So the minute I save this, Tom Hanks here is going to get an email notification that there's a calendar, that it's a calendar item, and that we have an appointment. So it really helps you look professional and organized. And like I said, if you want to do it inside of here, you can. In the future, you'll be able to be doing it with your Google Calendar, but this will be a great way to also log activity inside the account. So I'm just going to hit cancel on this. Other things you can do is add a task. Now, we have had sort of task plans in some of our other systems, but nothing this robust and nothing this exciting. So you can actually set up all kinds of tasks, which are to-dos, things you have to get done, whether it's, and it could be related to a contact specifically, could be related to a deal, or it could be personal. Personal could be just, hey, I need to pick up my dry cleaning, or I need to order some business cards or whatever. Or you have an appointment at your child's school or something like that. So what is the task? And again, remember, this is going to be for the client itself. So let's just say I need to call this person. So I'm keeping myself organized. And this is going to happen on Thursday. And it's assigned to me. So if you're a team leader, you'll be able to assign this task to a team member, which will work out really good. And this is associated with a contact. It's a high priority. And notice the contact's already filled in. Call to talk about staging. And then we're going to click add task. So now that task is there, and the system's going to keep track of it for me to make sure I get it done. So other things inside of the contact record are deals. So let's talk about deals. This is where you're going to have the ability to set up deals and manage your transactions on the back end, which is very exciting, inside of your booj CRM. Now, I'll show you in just a moment how to get to the integration where you can actually connect to .loop, DocuSign, and ZipLogix, and that can really help make this a seamless process too. So under the deals, so let's say, now let's pretend that Tom is a seller, but he's also going to be buying something, and this is where it gets interesting. So if we want to add the deal, we're going to name the deal. So let's say this is his property that he's selling. So we'll just go ahead and make up an address here, Elm Street. My caps button is on for some reason. And then this is going to be the list side. And let's just say he has an offer that's pending that he has accepted. And now we're going to put in the price that was agreed upon. Just make one up here. And notice how the system's going to track my gross commission income. And this is going to be really, for those of you that not really strong on accounting, or you want a better way to track this, rather than calling your accountant, this is going to really help you get organized with that. So commission information here. So 3% is the rate that it's showing here. And then whatever it ends up being, it's up to you on how your transaction, how it takes place. So the original, let's say the close, so here's the date, it's today. And then let's set this up. The closing for this property is going to be on April 30th. Now, the one thing I don't have set up is I don't have the paperless integration here. So this will make this process a little bit easier because you're going to have information back and forth between the two platforms. But right now I'm just doing this manually. So the primary participant is this contact. Remember, I'm in the contact record already. Additional participants, it's still a best practice to have spouses or significant others or other co-borrowers listed as separate contacts, as we've always instructed before. So have that person as a separate contact record, so then you can actually associate this person as an additional participant in the deal. You could also add a lender, you could add a title representative, you can add an attorney, so you can add anyone else that's involved on this deal. They're not notified. They don't get any access to this information. This is just for you on the back end. So we're going to click add deal. Well, let's see, like I could type in someone. I know for a fact that I have George Clooney in here. So George Clooney and Tom Hanks are buying a property together. So and I'm sure they could buy a really nice property together. So there it is. So this is actually this list side. Now, again, you're going to have this a lot. So then, of course, let's say now he needs a place to live because he sold his house. So let's go ahead and add in the deal for the property that he's moving to. So we're going to name this by the address as well. Mulberry Avenue. And this is now also in pending. And it's on the buy side. So he has put an offer in, it's been accepted, and his new property is $325. And there we go. And I'm already tracking my GCI. Same closing date. We're going to do a quick double closing, double move. That's going to be a busy day. And then again, this is the same person. Additional participants, again, could be anyone involved in the transaction. And we'll do add deal. So it is very well possible for your clients to have two deals at one time, and that's the most common scenario. Or maybe they're buying a couple of, it's an investor, and maybe they're buying some rental properties, even better. All right, details. And then obviously once you close them, as you can see, it will track those too. Details is where you're going to find all the important stuff, the address, the phone number, all the good stuff that you're going to need. And you're going to be able to see that on the mobile app as well. So it gives you kind of a breakdown of who this person is, where they came from. The lead source would be listed here. And as you move down the row, you can add more information, but again, still add that their spouse or significant other on a separate contact record. Social media profiles. Here's what's interesting. So you can actually go onto Facebook, copy the URL of their profile. You have to be on their profile, paste it into here, and it's going to give you an opportunity to add all of their social information, right? So with a public URL, which is the one that you use to get to it. So the icons will actually show up here when you add them. So let's say that you do that birthday search and you find out that, hey, it's their birthday today. And without having to go to Facebook, you can just stay right here inside the account, click on the Facebook link, or excuse me, the Facebook icon. It'll take you directly into their Facebook profile. You can post happy birthday or happy home anniversary or whatever it is that they're celebrating. So all of the social profiles can be set up here. They're not notified that all of this is in here, but just to let you know, it just keeps you organized. See how you can virtually work inside of booj the entire time. So other things, obviously for marketing, it's important that you know how they want to be contacted, how often. Important dates, as we mentioned before, it's pretty common to have things like birthday, wedding anniversary, property anniversary, custom, but again, kids' birthdays, dogs' birthdays, cats. So what's important? Maybe they started a new job and you happen to know that today's their first day. Put that in their calendar, and then next year, a year from now, then you can have happy anniversary at your job, first anniversary. So those are just the little things to pay attention to. Now here's those custom fields. Remember I talked about, well, kids' names. I set that up as a text field, so I can put in names right here if I could type, and I just hit save. So there's their names. Now, what's their timing? I've qualified this person. You click right there where you have to click on the word, by the way. And what's their timing? I find out that they're 30 to 60 days out. They're a pretty good lead. Save. So see how that works? So now you can add more custom fields when you click manage. This will take you into that section and does take you out of the contact record, but now you can find out more information. And connections, this would be, again, if they have a separate contact record, you should have one for their significant other or spouse. I'm going to put in add connection, and then we're going to just enter what the relationship is with that person. And again, this could also be lender. It doesn't have to necessarily be the co-borrower. All right, household. Let's talk about household. So you can also connect people for a deal on the household. So this is where you could just form a group of individuals or the two that are involved, or 3 in the transaction. A lot of times you have an estate sale, right, where you involve multiple people. So you can actually create a household for that purpose. And then let's say that one of them, there's a transaction involved with more than one person. Let's say that one of those people decides to purchase their own real estate in their own home, then you can actually split up the household. So there's actually some really good videos on RE/MAX University on what the household is all about. So listing manager, we're pretty excited because we're hoping to see this real soon in the next few weeks, but fingers crossed, it's technology. But listing managers were up here at the top, it's grayed out right now, but listing manager would be active when that goes live. So we're hoping to have some really exciting things to show you next week. Notes, again, that's pretty simple. We all know what the notes are for. You can search notes, you can add them in at any time on this CRM app or on the desktop. So here's that user activity. If I was the PBA for Tom, then I would have pretty much all access to see all of these tools in his contact record, which is great. I can see what he's favoriting, saving. I can see all kinds of information that's available here. History. This is pretty much everything that's happened on the contact record. So as you can see here, especially if those of you that are assistants that are helping out agents or team leaders, you can see everything that's going on in the record. You might get a call, or you might forget, did I call that person? Did I email that person? You can actually search the history of this record and say, oh yeah, I actually did make that phone call, or I did send that email. Marketing, this is if there's a campaign assigned to this client. The drip campaigns are not live yet, and those most likely will be in the second quarter. We were hoping to have that next week, but we're still waiting on some word on that too. But you can do single sends, and I'll show you how to find those. Inbox. The inbox is really important. When you start getting leads through booj, clients will, first of all, if you're using the CRM mobile app, if they respond to your text that you send from there, or your phone call, if they respond to your emails that you send from there, or text messages, those messages of theirs will drop right here into the inbox. You can click and find them. So anything that they've emailed you as a result of you emailing from there, or that have come into your inbox here. Text messages, same thing. Forms. Forms are really important. And why is that? Because when someone goes on remax.com or even your website, if there's a box for them to type a question in or to say anything where they actually type something in, the form itself will be generated here, the information they typed in. You'll also see a red number next to your inbox. So whenever you open up your inbox for any client, if there's a red, or overall for your contacts and leads, then that means there's some new messages in there you haven't read. So you have to pay attention to that, but that will be there. Okay. Questions? Are we doing okay, guys?
We're doing great on questions so far.
All right. Thanks everyone for hanging in with us. All right, let's click over to campaigns. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the most important one. Let's go back to contacts and leads really quick. I want to talk about importing a list into your booj account. So right up here at the top, it says add or import. So we're going to click import list. And right here is the opportunity to integrate or bring contacts over from 3 systems that are already in place here: Boomtown, Chime, or Follow Up Boss. There is talk of Top Producer and BombBomb to be in the next release. So we're excited about that. I know a lot of you are as well. So whenever you have contacts put into those systems, they'll sync up with here by using this tool. So the other thing you can do, which you're going to have to do primarily right now, is you can actually export your contacts out of any of those other platforms, and it must be a CSV file. Now you can import that CSV file. The system is intuitive, and it will map those fields for you. And if you have any questions or run into issues with that, please reach out to support. But you can also use, it is recommended to use the template that they've provided here inside of booj. So if I click this blue link where it says download our template, right here where it says import sample, it's going to open up in default view here. It'll show you this actual template form that you can use. Now you can clear out and delete all those sample text they put in here, but do not delete the columns or the column headers. Leave it as it is. One of the questions we get a lot is, can I import a whole bunch of contacts using the same tag or category? The answer is yes, because you can just put right here where it says tag, you can put that category there. Now, before you do that though, you need to add that tag to your booj platform the way we've shown you a couple of times. So make sure you add it there first and then go in here to the tag itself. Although Erica, it'll pick up the tag if they don't, won't it? Or do they have to enter it first?
No, it'll pick up the tag if they don't.
Okay, good. So still either way. So obviously you can do it either way. So see, there you go. And then yes, as you can see, it'll take up to 3 different tags because a lot of you have asked us, hey, I've got 7 categories or 2 or 3 assigned to one person. As you can see, you can do 3 at a time and notes, etc. So for those of you that are on Mac, by the way, if you try to open up this sample template and it's opening up in a strange format, it could mean that you don't have Office, Microsoft Office on your Mac, and you might not be able to open this. You may have to go to a PC or have someone send it to you, or just maybe get a tool or an application to help you open that up. So that does happen sometimes. All right, get back to where we were. All right, so that's how you do the template. And like I said, the system will pick up on those tags as long as it's a CSV file. It can't be any other format. So, all right. And then we looked at searching by, don't forget to set up your filters and how you can search your contacts. So let's click over to where it says campaigns. So campaigns, now drip campaigns, like I said, are not live yet, but you can do a single send, or you can set up a recipient list where everyone gets the one single template. So, but it's not going to be constantly dripping as of yet until that goes live. So what you want to do is, first of all, where it says single, let's click add campaign. And just so you know, all the templates are here, but we're going to call this we'll just say it's spring has sprung. And this is a single. So this is going to be sent to either a group of contacts or one person, and we're going to click build this campaign. So now what I need to do is select a template. So we're going to select a template this way. And you'll notice that there's over 100 of them in here already populated. By the way, sometimes this takes a while to load. It's going to spin a little bit. So give it a moment or hit refresh on your browser. But I have 5 results per page here, but I can change this to 25. And what it's going to do is it's going to reset itself and it's going to show me more than 5 at a time. So at least I'm trying to. There we go. See, again, it takes a while for it to load. So here's happy anniversary. Here's, I know there's birthday ones in here. This one is, let's see, there's probably there's time change and thank you in general. Here we go, preparing your home for winter. I'm just going to choose this one that says ABCs of home buying. So when you click to preview it, you can actually see it. And by the way, it's important that you disable your pop-up blockers on your Chrome for booj, because a lot of times Windows will see my pop-up was just blocked. So I need to allow pop-ups right here. Now I can start seeing things, hopefully. Let's see, done. Let me refresh and try this again. This is what can go wrong live. Now I have nothing. It got rid of everything. Let's try again. So yeah, I've noticed this section runs a little slow. I'm not sure why, but it tends to just, I'm guessing because of all the graphics that are involved with these. I'm just going to go 10 results. And now it's not cooperating at all. I'm going to cancel this. All right, let's try again. So anyway, you set up the template and you do it that way. So I'll come back into this another way. Recipient list. So I'll show you where to set this up, but this is where you can grab a group of your contacts specifically that you want to receive this particular message, but you have to create the list first, and you can do it from here or you can do it from another section. And when do you want to send it? Here's what's great. You can schedule in advance. Now, once you start using the campaigns, I'm just going to get out of here. There's a dashboard that what's awesome is you're going to have analytics. So when you start sending campaigns on the dashboard, you're going to be able to see open rates. You're going to be able to see, what went out, what maybe click-throughs on anything that you provided in the way of hyperlinks and unsubscribe. So this is the analytics we've been wanting for years, and it exists right here inside of here. So you can do that. Down below, so the newsletter is not live yet either, but if you click on where it says templates, that's where you can see the whole library without having to build a new campaign. And then recipient list, you can actually click here. Now this is where you can build a list. So we're going to create a list, and we're going to call it my spring message list 2020. Create the list. Now I have to start adding individuals to it. So what we're going to do now is, now see right now nothing's happening with it, but I have to start adding individuals to it. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start searching for people. I'm just going to type in George. Oh wait, sorry. I need to actually make the list. There we go. So put them on there. So see it, but it, again, very intuitive. So I just typed in someone's first name, but when you have more than one George in your database, it's going to obviously give you the choice of who you want to put in there. So I can put in another name. Remember I had Tom Hanks. Oops. Search. And it dropped him in there too. So, but anyway, you can build the list however you need to, and set it up and send it to whoever you want to, or you can do it inside of the actual campaign as well. I'm having all kinds of weird things happening here. I'm going to get out of here. I have to add more. So, all right. Any questions on campaigns? Because I think we're just about ready for websites. There's just a couple more things I want to show you up here in the top toolbar. The calendar itself, as we mentioned, lives inside of the booj platform. So it's not Google, it's not Outlook. But if you click here where it says View Calendar, this is where the calendar itself will exist, and you can set up just about any appointment that you want to. And you can see all the different views. Let's say you have a client appreciation event you want to set up. So we're going to set that up, client appreciation. And what's the color? Lime. And this is going to take place April 17th. And add the event. So now when I scroll my calendar over, there it is right there. Okay. You can add a task for yourself, you know, like I said, order business cards or something like that, but that's how you can use the calendar. Over here, this check mark right here, this is where your tasks will show up. So you're in trouble, because I'm in trouble because I got 3 things overdue by 3, 4, and 6 days. So what you need to do if you want to go straight to the task and then mark it complete, you can do that. You can add a new one, but this will keep track of those for you. So the other thing is notifications. So this is just going to show everything that's going on in your account, that a lead was assigned to you, that there's a phone call that you're supposed to make, that your team leader assigned you a task or whatever. That can be there too. Anytime you see the plus button, which is up here, notice how you can just add brand new, a new contact, deal, event, or task. The only way to add a new list where you're importing a list though is you do have to go into contacts and leads and hit that blue button to get to it. Now I promised to show you where to integrate your leads as well as paperless systems. So if you go to settings, so we're in the top right corner here, click on settings, and then right here where it says settings pages, and then system. And then what I want you to click on is integrations. It's working today. It wasn't working for me one of the webinars last week. So my screen is loaded up. So what we have here is system. So this is where the lead parsers would come into play. So you can actually connect any of these lead parsers and where they'll bring the leads into your booj platform automatically. So if I click right here where it says realtor.com, here's what you're going to be doing. You're going to go to your realtor.com profile. You're going to log in, and where it asks you to forward your leads to, what email address do you want to provide to forward your leads to, you're going to copy and paste this email address right here into that box. Now, I know a lot of times realtor.com in particular offers a primary and a secondary email, so you can actually use both your Gmail or what have you, as well as this one here. But what this is going to do is eliminate the need for you to have to manually enter your contacts from these lead parsers into booj by using this connecting email. So again, that's for realtor.com. I don't know a lot about HomeSpotter. I don't know. I think it's something that's widely used maybe out west, but it's the same process. And then Zillow has a little bit different process as it did in Lead Street. So follow these actual instructions to set that up. So it's not changing anything you're doing on those lead parsers, but it's just what it's doing is forwarding those leads right into your booj account. And they'll come through and it'll say lead parser, Zillow, Realtor.com, or what have you. Transaction management, this is where you would connect your paperless systems. So then whatever you're doing in there will feed over to your deals in your booj CRM. Now, I got to be honest, we don't have access to these tools. We will not be training on DocuSign, Loop, or ZipLogix, and we're just not set up to do that. So what you can do is if you have questions or run into any issues connecting these platforms to the booj account, each of these vendors has a support that you can contact. You have to let them know you're with RE/MAX and that you're trying to connect to booj, and they have protocol for that. So just want to let you know. So this is one of the areas that we're not able to access, and we don't have the knowledge base of these tools. You know them much better than we do. So I just want to call that out and make sure everyone knows. In any case, if you're having any trouble, especially with the lead parsers, if you've connected and all of a sudden it's not working, you should still report that to our support team, and they can go through the proper channels to get you some answers too. Okay. All right. So I'm wrapping up now with the CRM. We're going to dive into the websites. So I hope, questions?
Yep. We've got a couple of good questions that I think we could hop in and answer. So one of the questions that we've received is, will booj integrate with a third-party CRM so leads that come in from remax.com can be pushed to the CRM of their choosing?
So that is where that's coming down the road. So again, there's talk of Top Producer, all of the platforms, those 3 platforms that we looked at where you can bring leads in. So right now it's sort of a one-way integration, but I see where you're going with that. So yes, there's a lot of talk of that to set up an API. Top Producer, some of the more popular CRM platforms, it's just not in place at this time, but it is coming down the road.
So if I can just caveat on that, we're not sure if it's coming down the road as far as us sending data out from booj into a third-party CRM. The workflow is being worked on for those CRMs that are currently being used to be able to push data into booj. But at this time, we're not certain whether or not we will push information from booj into those third-party CRMs, because the goal and the drive is to utilize booj as your full CRM. It is a full ecosystem built around a CRM.
Right.
Karen King has asked, I'm trying to add my picture and can't seem to find how to do that in booj.
Okay, so you need to do that in Main Street. Here, look at me. I'm already talking about Main Street. Max Center. I'm looking at it here. So in order to bring your picture over, you need to go to Max Center. This is a good segue into the websites, by the way. We were going to go here. So you've got to go into Max Center, and you've got to go to this top right corner. Now, I have a balloon head here, so I need to add a picture too. So you click on this. So we're back. So leave booj open. Go back to Max Center where it says Apps, and then click up here to the top right corner. And then you want to click where it says Update Profile. So this is actually going to show a whole section where you can update your profile. So this is a good time for us to talk about this, because all of this information feeds to your booj website, your profile on the RE/MAX referral directory on Max Center, and also feeds over to your bio page on remax.com. So right here, it actually has photo. So we'll just skip right to it. So this is where you're going to add your photo. Now, it's important that you upload a high resolution photo. You do not want a grainy or pixelated headshot on your websites, on remax.com. You don't want any of that, right? So it has to be at least 5 megabytes, or I'm sorry, it can't be more than 5 megabytes, but I would recommend somewhere between 1, 2, and 3 megabytes for the best resolution, super high resolution for a headshot. So that's where you're going to upload it right here, and then it will populate and carry over to all the booj systems. So that's how you do your photo. Anything else? Okay. So I just want to quickly cover a couple of things on the slides here with respect to the websites, and let's just dive right in. So the websites themselves for booj, when we're going to go into the back end of it, so they are mobile responsive. So one of the best bits of advice I can give you is do not necessarily overcomplicate any of your pages, especially the home page on your website. Keep it simple with really impactful content, your bio, maybe some of your reviews. You can even do a couple of videos here and there, but really keep the content as simple as possible, because you have to keep the mobile experience in mind when you're doing this, is that most people are not going to want to just keep doing this on their phone, right? They're not going to want to scroll down and keep scrolling down. So you want to keep it simple and put the right content on each page. And if you have to have multiple pages to do that, then you can do that as well. That's the thing, the limitations are, there really aren't any limitations. You can design the site however you want, but it is mobile responsive, and just keep that in mind. And that's how most of the consumers will be finding you. So when you're looking to test, if you want to test anything, let's say that you work on your website and you really want to see what it looks like, one of the things you may want to do is use the incognito window feature, which exists on Chrome, where you can actually basically go onto the net as a stranger. So it's not going to remember any of your logins or anything. So you can really see what your website looks like. So you can see what's going on, and you can access, you can even log into Mac Center incognito if you just keep seeing certain errors. But it's important that you know how to clear your cache on your browser and when you're testing things, because the system will, Chrome remembers errors quite a bit until you clear it out. Your Mac Center profiles we just looked at, that's where you're going to go to update everything and all the information that carries over onto your website. Now, until March 31st, you are not going to be able to assign a custom domain to your website. Okay, so what that means is where you point your name servers to in GoDaddy or wherever you bought your domain to, you'll be able to do that on the 31st. That's why we're going to have these webinars next week to address a lot of these new changes that are coming. And right now, if you publish your website, you could do a redirect or forward of your website, but essentially that's not going to be available till next week. So if you can hold off, really work on your website, we really encourage you to do that. So Remax.com leads, as we know, aren't going to be live till next week. And then once again, especially for this section that we're going to talk about now, broker owners only reach out to support if you've not signed your IDX agreement for the office. So the bio pages for Remax.com, what these are. So first of all, we used to have what's called SPA pages, single page agent websites, and that's your profile page on Remax.com. Well, now they're called bio pages, and those exist under the Remax.com umbrella. So there's actually a bio page for every office, for every team, and every agent. So a bio page looks very similar to this. So it'll have your headshot, it'll have your story, which by the way, that's what you do on Mac Center to set it up. It'll have your office, and then this hyperlink where it says my website will actually link out to your booj agent website, okay? So when you get that custom domain assigned to it, or you can use the default one if you prefer, but you can actually have this link directly out to your site. So right now we're still on Remax.com, but this will link outside of Remax.com to your own website where any lead that you generate is assigned to you. Okay, so I just want to make that clear. So let's go in, as we just talked about, what do you do inside of the platform? So inside of Mac Center, what you're going to be doing is you're going to go through all of these tools. So once again, we're inside of Mac Center. We're in the top right corner, and where this little picture, the circle is, and then we're going to click Update Profile. So this takes us back in where we were before, and now we're going to go through and we're going to make sure everything is up to date. So we've got Profile, we've got General Info, and you just keep moving down the list here. So you may not have time to go through all this while we're on this session now, but this is your homework for afterwards. But this is where you can set up your social media icons. And this is also, where you can, as you can see, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then any phone numbers and other contact information. So this is also where you can set up your website with a custom domain. Photo, as we talked about, we know what needs to happen there. It needs to be high resolution. Professional details, this will be anything additional, your specialties, designations. I would encourage you to fill out every single field that you can, because remember, this feeds over to the referral directory. So your peers on the Remax network can actually search for you by your specialties, by your experience, by hobbies. I mean, they can search for everything if that's what's important to the client they're referring to you. Personal details, this is where the bio will be written and provided. I recommend that you keep it very human, meaning here's who I am, here's why I do what I do, here's what I can be found doing outside of work, and I give back to the community, or I give to the Children's Miracle Network. So really make it clear like who you are, why you do it, who you do it for, but the consumer also wants to know what's in it for them. They want to know that who they're working with, it's about know, like, and trust, and it really has to be ultimately about them. So maybe keep it on the shorter side, but it can be very impactful either way. By the way, when you set this up, there's no spell check in here. So I encourage you to use Google Docs or Microsoft Word, to anything that has spelling or grammar check, because you don't want your bio out there with typos. That's embarrassing. So try not to do that. Anything else? Again, hobbies. In the past, we were only able to add 3 hobbies. I was playing around with this. You can add several. So it makes you look really interesting. So you can add as many hobbies as you want and choose them from here. I did 4 or 5, so maybe there is a limit, I'm not sure. MLS affiliation, this is really important. If you go here and you do not have an MLS affiliation, you need to either reach out to support, you need to go ahead and add it. So it's going to depend upon what your board is as to what your number is that you're inputting. Check with your broker owner, because they will have a really good idea about this. If you are a broker owner and in here it says you're pending on your MLS affiliation, again, please reach out to support and they can assist you with tracking down the status of that. And then finally, awards is here too. So take your time, again, make this part of your homework where you want to add the Mac Center profile information. So let's go back to booj. So to get to the websites, first of all, let me show you some quick examples of some that are really nicely done, to be honest. So agent websites, again, you're going to be able to add Zillow reviews can be fed in automatically. You're going to be able to copy and paste the manual reviews from other sites like Google, Facebook, from Realtor.com. You'll be able to do that. We'll show you how to do that. So something else that's available. So this is an agent website. This is an agent in Florida who has done a lot of work on her site. Now, I don't want you to be intimidated by this at all or think that this person's a web developer, designer. Keep in mind she's had her website since August, so she's taken a lot of time to work on it. And I don't know for a fact whether she did it or had someone do it, but I just want to show you what this looks like. So I'm actually going to go out of here for a second, go back in here and pull it up here. So let's do, so her name is Michelle Belisari, and she's a Florida agent in Boca Raton. And here's what happens if you do not have an assign, or if you don't have a custom domain on your site. When you publish your site, the system will assign you by default a domain that looks just like this. So it's your username, your remax.net username, .remax.com. So for me, it would be mhoyt@remax.com. I'm sorry, mhoyt.remax.com. So that is technically a domain name that I could use on business cards. I could use on flyers. For those of you that don't have a custom domain, it at least has some marketing flavor to it, if you would. It's easy to read, easy to say. So you can use that if you want, but we always encourage you to get your own domain. So what you're going to be able to do is, so now I'm on her site, and like I said, she's done a lot of work to it and had a lot of work done to it. So she has a custom image that's up here at the top, which you can add. She also has, and if you look, first of all, this blue menu that you see right here, these are all the items that are available. She's set up some specific menu items with things about her area, okay? And then if you look here, the search bar is here. So we're gonna look at different layouts and how to get that going. And then featured listings is a block. So these are design blocks. As you go through the page, each section is considered a design block. And this section right here are menu items that she added. And then she has a video. So you'll see when we get into videos that you cannot upload or embed a video. You have to have it hosted on YouTube or Vimeo. So I always recommend YouTube for search engine capabilities. So that's what that is. Another one I want to show you really quick is tburrows.remax.com. So this is an agent in Idaho, and what he's done on his site is he also has the assigned default domain rather than a custom one. And in this case, he has an image, he has search bar, and notice he has his bio right underneath the top of the page. This is called the bio block, which I will show you how to get to and how to add to a page. It's going to take some practice. And then he also has his reviews. He has copied and pasted manually from other platforms, different reviews. And then he also has a block with his Zillow reviews. The Zillow reviews will come in on their own, and they will be automatically populated. And then he has social information streaming. So these are custom blocks that you can add to your site. Like I said, I highly recommend that you think about keeping each page simple from the perspective of just not having too much content, because there's a pretty good chance whatever's on the bottom's not going to get seen as much. So those are just some examples there that you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the website section of booj, and the way to get to that is right here at the top where you click where it says website. So by default, by the way, the booj system will always be on the CRM, but you're just gonna have to click here to the website. So let's click where it says dashboard. So again, I'm inside of booj, never left, and I'm clicking on where it says website. And now what it's saying here is, first of all, for most of you, you probably haven't published yet. So you can publish by publishing. That means your site goes live. It can be found by consumers and all of that. So, but what you can do is if you want to preview it, in case you're wondering, this is what's really great about it. You actually have a website already set up. You're not starting from scratch. So there is content there, and you could publish it today and it would just it would have some content there that you didn't have to put in yourself. So it's called out of the box content. So over to the far right here, or excuse me, left, this domain that you see here is how you're going to preview your site. What does it actually look like? So in order to do that though, you're going to need a username and password to get into it. To the far left here, there's a little I. So see this I right here? I want everyone to click that. That's following along. And what I want you to do is to jot this down. This username, beta-user, and the password is beta tester 123 exclamation with capital B, capital T. Again, you all have this. Where I got to this is we're on the website, we're on the dashboard, and hover over this little I next to this domain, and this is going to be the username and password that you're going to enter so that you can actually preview what your site looks like right now. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and click on mine, and I'm going to show you how that's going to look. So let me close this. When I click here, this is what it's going to do for you. So I'm going to type in beta-user, and then I'm going to type in capital B-E-T-A, capital T-E-S-T-E-R, 1, 2, 3, pound. Okay, so now it's going to show me what does my site look like right now as I've been setting it up. So this is going to show me, now mine's going to look different than yours because I've been working on it a little bit and just kind of experimenting. But for instance, like notice my search bar is front and center on top of the image. And some of you might see it down below, but I'm going to show you how to change that if you really like this layout that I'm showing here. Up here in the top right corner, this is going to show me my menu items. So by system default, there's already some assigned ones there. There's resources, there's the Remax blog. These are the active navigation items or menu items. And we can actually add custom ones to this. So if you go right here, you'll notice I've been, again, playing around and experimenting with different blocks. So this is a design block in itself, and then this is just some provided content. So not a lot going on my homepage, but again, I'm just showing a demo. So in your case, though, what we want to do is let's go back to booj. Now leave that window open. Don't close that one. Leave your site open because I'm going to show you how you can see changes as you're doing them, and you should. So right here, for those of you that did not see the search bar on top of your image, if you prefer to have it that way, let's click where it says change homepage. So under change homepage, this is where you're going to search for the right layout. I have what's called the agent search layout. A lot of you, I think by default, may have the agent social layout, but if you want to have that search bar up at the top, then click the agent search layout. And then what you want to do is go down to the bottom and you want to hit save. Okay. Now to see that it took place, go back to your site, tab up here, and then refresh your page, and it should be instantly changed. Okay. All right, so before we get further into the site, there is one feature that I want to call attention to that's really important, and that's your personally branded mobile app. So what you're going to do here is, this is the new Remax app. Now, before you do this, everyone pick up your phone right now and delete the Remax search app off of your phone altogether. So just get rid of it. Hopefully you don't have more than one. So what you usually do on both iPhone and Android is you press the icon until it shakes, and then you hit the X and get rid of it. So you press the RE/MAX search app, let it shake, hit the X, get rid of it. And it's the only way this is going to work. You just have to remove, even if it's the new version, just get rid of it. Okay. So once you've done that, now this is what you're going to do in the future and moving forward. If you want to send your personally branded RE/MAX app to clients in the future, what you want to do is go to this section right here on the website dashboard, type in a cell phone number of who you want to text this to. Right now I say do it to yourself. So type in your cell phone number. I'm just going to put mine in and hit text. So it says message sent. And my phone's down here below, and I'm just going to wait for a minute and see if as that comes through. For the rest of you, though, I don't know if this will go through because it's a demo account. It might not actually be live. So my guess is maybe not. For you, though, it should happen pretty quick. Now, what I want you to do is to click on that link that you just texted to yourself. First of all, that link you just sent yourself is your personally branded mobile app. Hey, I just got mine right here. Look at that. So begin your home search today. And it's a link. See that? So anyway, when you click on that, here's the thing. Again, this is why you have to delete the app off of your phone. So anyone that clicks on that, it prompts them to download the RE/MAX search app. And then when they download it and they open it up, it's going to have your face. So it'll be your personally branded version of the mobile app. So this is the new way to do it. I know some of you might be running into some issues or have questions. Again, please type your questions into the Q&A section rather than the chat. But just to let you know that this is the right way to do it. So take that mobile URL link, save it on your notes on your phone so that you can from here on out text that to people and forward it to people, or you can always do it here from the desktop. Okay, so right now that's the best way to share it. And anything they do in search and save favorites and everything, all that's going to come to you because it's coming from your version of the mobile app. All right, so let's keep moving through. Let's go to the Edit Agent Search Layout. So what this is going to do is going to show you the home page. So these are those content blocks that I was talking about. So notice how I've got a headline. Well, that was easy enough because the page was already set up. It's the home page. You can't delete the home page. And so you want to make sure that everything's set up the way you want it to. Notice that some of these blocks I've got in draft. So at any time when you're designing a block, you can always have it in draft mode so that if you need to go back to it, if you're not done with it yet, that happens. You get interrupted in this business. You can always just put it in draft mode and say, hey, I'm not ready to show it, but I want it there. But when I do enable it, so when I add it to my site, see how it added a bio block for me. So now that it's there, I'm going to go back to my site. I'm going to refresh because remember, right now it doesn't have the bio block. When I refresh, it's going to show that new change that I just made. So you can really see it. So, I mean, there's a couple different ways to preview it and test it and everything else. So for some reason, it's taken a while to update. All right, I don't know why, but it is. Let's go to... All right, let me go back here. Here's what's, first of all, you're going to love this about this website or these websites in general, is the fact that you can actually take this information and you can see it in the preview window right next to it. So on the left-hand side, it's showing you what blocks you have, and then you get to see what it actually looks like here. So you can see in preview mode here, or you can go to the top here. I'm just going to close that because it's running really slow. And this is what's happening. So what I did though is I did add things to my home page. So if you want to add this bio block, I'm going to show you how to do that. So let me get rid of this and I'll just go ahead and add it again and show you what I did. So here's my site now, and I decide I want my bio to be front and center. So you click where it says add block, and then this is going to show you, now there's all these different content blocks that you're going to have to learn and get used to. And again, there's lots of great videos on RU about that. But I'm going to scroll down here where it says bio block. And what that is once again, you can't edit it here. You have to go to Max Center to your profile. But right here is the block itself. I'm going to hit save. So I've enabled it, but it's down here. So I want this to be at the top, right under the header. So what I'm going to do is you have to hover over this actual bar, Notice the little cross that comes up. Then I'm going to move it up by clicking and holding it and dropping it right there. So now the order is changed and my bio is at the top. Okay. So we're going to get into pages here in a second and show you how to create a custom page, but that's how that works. So let's go ahead and hit exit up here. Okay. All right. So then I've got page editor right here. So what this is this is a list of all pages that have been created for this website. Now, all may not be shown or they may not be published or live, but they're all here, and then I can activate those at any time. You can look at them in grid view or you can look at them in list view. And we're going to come back to this. So let's move on. So we're on website and pages is where we were. Let's move on to navigation. So navigation is your menu items. So remember on the website, it's the blue menu. So let's go to, I'll just go to Michelle Belisari's site. Mine demo site wasn't loading. So on her site or any of your sites, it's this blue menu that's up here in the top right corner. That's the navigation. So these items right here is what's available in active navigation on her site and on yours. So these are displaying. You'll notice this is what's called a parent-child relationship. So you've got buy, sell, resources. Anything underneath it is like a child relationship. So the parent's the top and then you've got the child underneath it. So unlinked pages, these are pages that have been created, but they're not currently showing on my site. Now I can move them over at any time. You may have pages that you create and you use over and over again, like for client appreciation events or what have you, or area information, and you change it out seasonally. So you're going to come up with your own favorite pages and templates. But under this section here, again, same thing. I can move items around. So I've got, let's see, the Remax blog. Maybe you want to move this up here to where the resources are. And I'd rather have that here, and it makes more sense, in my opinion, is what I'm thinking for myself. So that's what's going to happen there. Now you can add, one of the things I would discourage you from doing is to take people off of your website, but there might be an exception to that rule. And that's where maybe perhaps it's school district, or you just want to send someone to, say, the Convention and Visitors Bureau in your local area. So if you click right here where it says create menu item, then what you want to do is, we're just going to call it out, school district, whatever. I'll do 54. Now, what you want to save it as a link or create it as a link. And what you need to do then is to then open up a new tab and go to the school district itself. And this is going to pull up the website, which you need to click and open the website itself. And you want to click up here to copy the URL. So remember, I'm on the school website. I'm going to paste this in here and I'm going to hit save. So now what this did, and I've already done this once before, but now I've got school district. And by the way, if you just want to get rid of something, you just kind of drag it over here and it's gone. So school district 54 is showing here. Now to see my site, I need to, I'll show you how this works. Let me go back. Let's hope my URL is cooperating. It'll show up on the menu. So once again, I may have to enter my password. Oh no, it worked. Okay. So in the menu, remember I entered school district 54. And if I scroll down, see how it says school district 54. When I click here, it's going to take me directly to that school district page. So it worked. So that's just an idea of what you can do. So again, I was on website and navigation, and I added the school district as a link. So again, try not to do that too often where you take people off your site, especially to a place where they could connect with another real estate professional. So you don't want to do that. All right, so that's just some tips there. The next thing is, let's look at the templates. You can kind of look through the library, see the different layouts. So that's easy enough. You can also clone them if you have your favorites. You can clone pages, you can clone templates. Let's go to testimonials. So this is where you would copy and paste reviews from, say, Google, your Facebook business page, or from any place. Reach 150, I think a lot of you have used in the past. Now, Zillow reviews you will not add here. I'm going to show you where to add those. You have to add your screen name just like before. But what you can do here is you actually can copy and paste testimonials in. So you put the name of the person and you copy and paste the testimonial into here. Again, remember there's no spell check in pretty much all of these fields in here, so just be careful of typos. One of the things I want to recommend to you is on these manual testimonials that you paste into your website or into the section, they are not time-stamped. Now, they'll show the date of today in your system that you entered 12 testimonials into or reviews into your section today, but when they display on your website, there's no dates. And that's really what consumers like. And obviously the more recent, the better. So what I recommend you do is paste in the testimonial and then type in the date right after it. That's going to be the best advice I can give you. Right now, there's no date picker available, but just show people how recent it was. That's really one of the most important things about reviews. And it's kind of fun. You get to rate yourself. So I guess you're going to give yourself 5 stars across the board. So, and you should. And there may be a reason, maybe you want to hide some of these, which you can, that's up to you. But I'm just going to put in, you are the best. Hopefully they write something more than that. So we're going to click add. So what'll happen is, see, it drops in here and now it's there. It does show that it was added today, but that may not be the actual date of the review. That's why I recommend you type it in there. Okay. So, and I'll show you how to add those to your site. Next, we want to look at domain manager. This will be more important on the 31st when you're able to assign your custom domain. That's when you'll be able to add it here. So for the time being, you're not going to take any action. And let's go to website settings. This is on registration. Some of you have really strong feelings about this where I don't think anyone should have to register to look on my site, and that's great. And if that's the case, leave it on relaxed. On restricted, it may, now by the way, they can still create an account. Just because it's relaxed, they can still log in and create their own account. So that is available to them as well. Under restricted, this is where they can actually, you can set a certain number of listings that they viewed and then we'll prompt them to register. So maybe you think if someone's looked at more than 20 listings, they might want to register or hopefully register, and you can capture that information, but it's up to you. And you can go up to 99 listings if you set this parameter. So you can decide how that works. It's website settings. So what I want to do next is I want to build a new page because I want to show you some of these content blocks. So we're going to go to website, we're going to go to pages, and you now want to click where it says add page. And let's just do create new page. We're not going to use a template, we're just going to create our own. So this page I want you to call, we're just going to make it like an area page for your, so we'll just say about Madison. And if it's a popular city name like Madison, I'm going to put in the state after it. And this will be fun things to do in Madison. You have to put some type of description. And this isn't necessarily that important, but this is called a slug. Anything on any website, really anywhere, that comes after the .com is considered a slug. So like if I'm on my website and I was on this page, at the top it would say mhoyt.remax.com/about Madison, Wisconsin. So that's called a slug. And whatever comes after the .com and that slash, and you'll start noticing that on all the websites that you're on, that's what that is. So I'm going to do save. Now it's going to prompt me to set up my header. So I have to do that first. So to set up my header, let's say that I want, first of all, I want search to be pretty prominent. So I'm going to do headline image with search. I decide I want to have search on every page. Now I'm going to add an image. Now in this case, I'm probably going to set up a custom image for my area because I'm focusing on a specific area. But there is pre-populated content already inside of the booj website platform. So as you can see here, now you can actually search by certain type of image, or you can just choose what they already have here. And this is only showing 25 per page. So like if I change this to 50, it's going to show me a lot more images. So I'm going to scroll down and let's look at some, mountains. So I'm going to change this. So here's my photo. If you're going to do your own custom image, what I recommend you do is to click on one of the provided images and pay attention to the dimensions that they've provided here. These are pixels, and use that as sort of a guide so that you can create some nice images that'll fit nicely into that space. So this particular one, I'm just going to click right here, insert. And now I have my image. Now, one thing I've noticed though, there have been some glitches with the preview window. For some reason, sometimes you don't see it on the right-hand side. This is where having your site open in preview mode is helpful, but mine's not showing as of yet. So remember, this is going to be about Madison, and you can't save this until you actually type something in the description. Now remember, you don't necessarily have to enable this page or make it active. You can sort of keep it in draft mode and go back and do these things. No spell check, just want to remind you again, copy and paste is probably best. In this particular instance, there's a 500 character limit. I'm just going to hit save. So I can sort of see it in the background here. You might not be able to, but that header is there. For some reason, it's just not showing up. Now I'm going to start building the page. So what I want to do is I want to click here and I want to add, let's just say I want to add a video, maybe have a video about the area. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to choose the one, probably, I just went right past it, video embed. So it's not technically embed. I just want to point that out because for some of you techies out there, I've already gotten a lot of questions. Can we do HTML? The answer is no, it's not built that way. What you're going to have to do is host your videos on YouTube. And so I'm going to call out my video. This is going to be History of Madison. And then you're going to copy a link in there. I don't have one prompted right now, but you would copy it in there. And so you actually notice I can't save it, but watch what happens. When I go back with the back arrow, it's there. So once you click on it, when you're in the add block mode, it's going to automatically put it onto your list of blocks. Now, if I'm like, okay, I don't want this showing blank, so I'm just going to turn this in draft mode and then I'll go back and add my URL. That's fine too. The next thing is I want to show you how to add those Zillow reviews. So we're going to click on add block. Then we're going to click where it says Zillow review block. So now what I need to do is enter my screen name. Okay. So entering my screen name is going to be like we've done in the past. Now you can either log into your Zillow profile or you can go to Zillow and search, go into a new window, new tab, and you can search just like a consumer would and you can find your own screen name. So I'm just going to type someone's name in here. So you type the name in of you, in this case, find your profile, open it up, and now on the far right side, you're going to see where it says screen name, professional information screen name. Copy this exactly how it is, spaces and everything. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go up here back to your booj account, and I'm going to paste it right here. And when I hit save, this is my friend Mike in Chicago. When I hit save, they're automatically going to be loaded up. Look how instant that was. And those are timestamped. Like we said, the manual ones that you add are not, but these are timestamped. So I'm going to show you how to add those manual ones. Now you have to add your testimonials into that first section we looked at earlier. You have to copy and paste them in there first in order for them to appear here. So under the section of, and I forgot to date that one that I added after I just told you that was a good idea, right? So testimonial block. So when I add that, I'm going to hit save, and now it's going to load right under my Zillow review block. So here's Zillow, and now here's those reviews that I already added. Now see, these have dates on them because I did add them in. So that helps. So really what you have to do, did you have a question?
Yeah, just real quick. Joyce has asked if you can show again how you went incognito to search.
Incognito to search. So opening up as far as on a browser. Yeah. So I'm actually in an incognito window right now. And notice it says that, but where you get to it is here. So I've got an arrow here, which means I have an update due, but you may have 3 little dots. So you go up here to the top right corner, and it says, in my case, update Google Chrome. But when you click new incognito window, it's going to open up a brand new browsing window, and you are a stranger. None of your logins or passwords are remembered. So that's how you do an incognito window. So some of you that might be an assistant or you're a team member and you're helping the team leader and you're constantly toggling back and forth between 2 accounts, it's really a good way to go to make sure that you're able to, you can work. So I'm incognito right now, but when I minimize this, it's going to take me back to my regular Chrome. So I hope that's what you're looking for.
Yep,
Okay.
that's exactly it.
All right, great. Yeah, it's a really good way too, like just to Google yourself, go incognito and Google yourself. And it's interesting what you find about yourself. Now, obviously, it's especially as real estate professionals, your reputation is everything. So you will find, virtually type your name, your state, RE/MAX, and just see what's out there. But kind of it's even more important what you don't see. And that might mean you need to ramp up your online presence or really just kind of beef up some of your profiles and things like that. So, all right, so we're kind of going through, so everyone let us know if this is helpful as far as the way we're building this page. I want you to just kind of take your time and get used to some of these images and some of these blocks and the way we're doing them. Some of the, we had shown you a couple of examples earlier, and those tend to be a little more advanced, so we don't want you to be overwhelmed by that. It's going to take time. Those agents had their site since August. So if you want to add the social media block, you can do that. And the social media block, what it's going to have as of right now is it's going to provide RE/MAX content. So this is coming directly off our Twitter feed for RE/MAX, and it just gives it some social content. It gives it a social flavor, and consumers like to see that because it's modern and it keeps you relevant by showing social media information. So I'm just going to hit save. And then as it says here, you're going to have the ability in the future to add your own social content. So right now it's just RE/MAX provided. Okay, so some of the other things that are available is if you look at some of these content blocks, again, you just have to get used to it. You can actually set up a little slideshow. So like this is a carousel block with film strip. And if I click here, this is where I can actually add more than one image inside of this content block. So, and it ends up being a slideshow. So if I pick this image, I'm going to click insert. And this is save. So now what it's going to do as I save this, it's going to prompt me to continue to build this. So see how this is like a little block within the block. So I'm going to click add item because I need to set up a slideshow. This is where it gets gets fun. You can do a lot of creative things with it. So I'm going to pick the next image, click insert. And I'm going to save. And now I've got two images, and let's just add one more for this purpose, and then we'll wrap up. The balloon, insert, and save. And then we're going to click, we're done. So I'm going to go back. And now I have what's called the carousel block film strip. So if I scroll down, my page is getting a little busy. I probably wouldn't do this, but I've got like a film strip showing now. So these images may not have been the best example, but they're showing this way. And now I've got the ability to scroll through those. So much you can do. I mean, we really encourage you to take your time and build your websites and do everything that you need to do. And we'll get ready for the 31st. We'll make sure that you're off and running, and we have more things to come. New features are being released next week and all of that. So we'll do a last call for questions. How are we doing out there?
We're doing great. We don't have anything open right now.
Okay. And Eric and Maureen, anything else I potentially could have not shown that I need to show?
Nope, you did great. The only thing that I want to remind everyone on this webinar is that this had to be at a little bit of a quicker pace because we were limited to 2 hours. But as Michelle said, the RE/MAX University is full of more in-depth videos of every single one of these sections. Maureen and Michelle have really worked their butts off to make sure that all the content you could possibly need is available to you. So please utilize that. We also have great knowledge base articles on maxhelpsyou.com. You can reach out to our support team and we can walk you through any of these sections that you want more information on.
Absolutely. I can't thank everyone enough for joining us today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Be safe, be healthy, be well. We're going to get through this together. Let's keep our spirits up. Let's keep supporting each other virtually and on social media. And we care about you. We miss you and wish you the very best. So we are doing this again tomorrow. This was recorded. It'll be on RE/MAX INTEGRA YouTube. Thanks, everyone.